Correction without connection feels like rejection. I am Jesse, and I wrote those puns on purpose. I stand here to support you men when it comes to all of those things, and whether it's discipline or damage, and signs that you're leading with fear instead of leading with love. But before I get into that, though, in a deeper message, I want to welcome you to my channel. Hi, welcome to my channel. And subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. It's super easy. Just hit the subscribe button right down here, right over here, wherever it's located today, wherever YouTube has hooked it up. And subscribe, hit the little black bell that says all, and what that does is it allows my content to be available to you whenever, without restriction. And if you've visited or seen any of my videos before, welcome back. Welcome back. It's nice to know that you're back and you're watching me, and you've decided to include me in your day. So let's get into it here. I want you to keep in mind about checking your tone, not just the words. Delivery builds or breaks trust. Here's why that's important. Tone and voice change. When kids or your wife hear it, for instance, do they hear your tone or do they hear your words? Because what I've found out over and over is that as soon as I change my tone and the way I'm talking, they're in a fight or flight, or they're in a nice, okay, J Daddy's talking to us type of way. Now, trust over and over gets eroded when it's just this voice raising thing that happens over and over when I've done that. And I've actually eroded my kids' trust at one time because what they expected to hear was me be a little bit more sensible about what I was asking them to do. For instance, brushing their teeth, cleaning their room. Yeah, I know, it sounds like the mundane, it sounds like the everyday stuff that I talk about every now and then. You're right. However, talking about it over and over and using a louder and more aggressive tone, yes, I get excitable. Yes, I get upset. But if I do it over and over, man, it erodes their trust because they're no longer thinking that they can believe in me to help them feel better. And that's what it's all about, right? Trust your gut. For them, I'm showing them the inner workings and how to do that in life. So delivery is everything. And over time, if you're that dad that is a yeller or a screamer or a high-pitched, elevated intonation, think about what is actually happening. Are they just hearing the volume of your voice, or are they really hearing you? Number 2, explain before you enforce. Explain it before you enforce. Rules need reasons. Now, you don't have to get into the ridiculous adult conversation why and build context around what they're doing and saying and what you want to get done. That's not up to them to receive. It's actually not going to work well for you because that might be an adult conversation that you have with your spouse, and now you are bringing in an adult conversation to them and building a lot more context around that. That's not fair. That's not fair for a child. And I know that I've done that at least once or twice, and I haven't done that very often because building context around a conversation that's only meant for adults only does a couple things. It makes them resentful. It builds fear into the way they feel as kids. And it also, they don't need to know the adult parts. That's too much for a child to bear the weight of. Building too much context and over-explaining your viewpoint is not cool. But I do mean to explain before you enforce. I am going to ask you to clean up your room, and this is how I want you to clean it up. The next time I ask you, it's just going to be, clean up your room, please. I don't want to have to explain it again. I don't need to explain it again. You know what the expectation is. And so it is. Repair after reaction. This is important. This is important. I got upset with you. I still love you. I love you. There's no way that I didn't in this. I got upset because I want you to know that this wasn't unacceptable, and I've asked you to do this several times. The follow through is so important to a child. I remember growing up, there were certain situations that I never saw my parents repair. And what I gleaned from that is they possibly did repair it in private, but as kids, I didn't get to see that. So I didn't ever know if they actually came through with some of those things that actually bothered them, that they were upset about. Now, I'm okay to talk about that stuff because I believe that vulnerability is essentially something that is a really good tool for us to utilize. I had a good childhood. I had a lot of great things happen. This is a viewpoint. This is an opinion. This is the way I saw it in moments. And I'm not alone. I know there's many of you out there watching this saying, oh yeah, I don't think I watched my parents do that either. Comment, I correct with care. I correct with care. If your leadership starts with heart. Starts with heart. It's got to start with heart. It has to. And then that feeling is portrayed, is felt. For a deeper conversation on this, I'd love to invite you to my channel. And I want to invite you to subscribe again. And an even deeper conversation than that, go to my website, thevaliantlifestyle.com, book your 30-minute call. And what that will do is questions that you've had that have come up in the last several minutes while I've been talking about this, maybe it's time to have a conversation about what that means to you. I'm also offering a 3-day course, and I would love for you to sign up for it. It's thevaliantlifestyle.com/the-valiant-mans-blueprint. I know that's rather long, so I'm going to put that in the comments so that you have it. All right. Thank you for watching today. And as I always say, let's do this.